That's one advantage that you have by going to a state park or a national park, because fireworks are outlawed. It's a balancing act. Whatever you have available to you is how you have to decide what to do. I just went ahead and set the 1985 Coleman Sun Valley camper up here on the property. It's been pretty nice camping out. There were torrential rains came down on the actual 4th of July. That's why I went ahead and set up the tarp. I always think that's a great idea, unless there's zero chance of rain. If you got a pretty good chance of rain coming through when you set your camper up, it's always a good idea to put a tarp up. It keeps everything dry underneath the camper. It just seems like it works a lot better. It also keeps the sun out. When the sun comes out nice and bright, it'll keep the sun rays off your camper too, off the background. I'll show you a couple things that I've done to the 1985 Coleman camper that might help you out. A couple modifications that work pretty good. Almost any of these modifications that I'm going to show you, I do have videos. If you just go to the playlist, almost all the modifications that I've done, I put it out on video. That'll give you an easy place to go so you can visually see how I did some of these things, and you can do them yourself if you like it. To start out with, here's a modification that I really like. That is these poles right here. These are made out of PVC and they work great for like a vestibule coming out on both sides. You can see how nice they work. They are completely adjustable. I actually have 4 of them built, but really I could use about 6 of them. Set up your pop-up camper and you put a tarp on it. Have the size tarp that covers everything and yet is not too big. I actually have a video out that shows a 3 tarp system that I came up with. Now that's if I was going to camp and I really wanted a lot of room out on both sides beyond the sleepers, and also a big vestibule out front and one in the back also. What I'm planning right now is I'm going to go up to Lake Superior, and the winds get so bad up there, there's no reason to take a real big tarp up to Lake Superior. It's just not going to work out very well. I figured out the perfect size tarp for my Sun Valley. Whatever camper you have, basically you just run a tape measure on it, just stretch the tape out, figure out how far you want your overhang to be on each side, and just go from there. But here's a real nice feature. When you put a tarp on your pop-up, let's say you have a few days where it's not going to rain. Let me show you how that works. You can always roll it up if you need to, get all your air. Let's say some big rainstorms are coming in. Roll it back down. And if I had several days of rain, Jazzy, you better move, buddy. You better move, Josh. If I had several days of rain coming in, I would go ahead and probably string this up just like this right here. Plenty of watershed. But for now, the rain is over. Just have a little clip just like this right here. Clip it on there. Good to go. Plenty of air coming through, going through one side, coming out the other. Works out pretty good. You know, anytime you have a pop-up camper, hey Jess, watch out, Jesse. Watch out. Move out of the way, Jesse. There you go. One thing about a pop-up camper like this, the bed systems, you know, they have these steel supports coming down, 2 of them on each side, but you hear so many stories about these wanting to fail, especially if you get a little bit too much weight on it or you get movement going on. These posts right here will want to fail on you if you're not careful. So I've just got a 2x4 up against the top, comes down with a couple legs put together with a strap. Front, you can see I've kind of built it a little bit different. You're dealing with the front of the trailer right here, the hitch part coming out. So I came up with a system that I could just basically put a board across it. You can see I've got a little bolt right here. These 2 legs go up and then they're supported by a 2x4 that's going across the top. Once again, makes a huge difference. This side right here, a lot of times, this is where Jazz and her brother Samuel sleep on this side. And you know, Jazz weighs, you know, probably close to 60 pounds. Sammy the same. So they get up there and jump up on there. I just didn't want these posts to fail right here and the whole bed come crashing down. So that's a pretty nice system. I've got a video on it. Here you can see on this side, once again, I've got it rode up and got the little clip on it right here. Makes it pretty nice. In case the rain comes down, roll it back down, put some more guidelines on it coming down, be pretty secure. You know, anytime you want to set a tarp up, definitely want that water to come pouring off, and better to pour away from your camper than to pour straight down. So you can see I've got that pretty well covered on the front, but when I come around here to this side right here, I got to be careful because it's awful close. This area right here is awful close, but once again, if I was camping somewhere and a lot of rain was coming up, especially for a few days, I would go ahead and put me a guideline on here, bring that away about like this right here, stake it down, be ready to go. Now here's something that's interesting. Let me see if I can point this out to you. You can't really tell it with the tarp on it. You see that section right up here? It's got a point on it. I actually have a little PVC system that I've put that actually velcros to the top of the Sun Valley Coleman camper. And what it does is it allows for a real nice watershed. So that water, when it hits that point up there, it'll run off on all 4 sides, and there's no chance of water actually standing up on top. I know before I'd put my tarp up on the Coleman, and I noticed when I'd go to take the Coleman down a couple times, as I started to bring it down, a ton of water comes sliding off the top, and that's because the top on the Colemans are so flat that actually water can stand up there. And you know, if you want to set your pop-up up, you know, you want to set it as level as possible. Well, you come up with a little system like that for the top. I just call it a rain guard. I've got a video on it in the Coleman family videos. Now, speaking of being level, everybody knows when they set their pop-up up, you know how to level it from front to back. You either use your jack up front and you bring the front up, or bring it down, you get it level, you drop your legs. That's pretty simple, but what do you do when it's side to side? Here's a good shot of the Coleman sitting there, and the property is kind of slanted. There's a slant. When you get a closer look, you can really see how much higher one side is than the other. I'll show you how I did that. We'll go on over here. And I just took some 2x6s here. 2x6s, one probably getting close to 3 foot long. It's got a nice slope on it right here, so your tire will row up it, no problem. Maybe 2 foot long, this second piece. It's got the slant on it. That's what the Coleman is sitting on now. But let's say I needed a little bit more, then I've got the third piece right here. I just store it inside the Coleman when I'm not using it, bring it out when needed, and it makes leveling just as easy as can be. I know if you've ever camped in a camper and it wasn't leveled right, boy, it's a pain. The same way with a tent too. If you set a tent up on a slope, it's just going to be such a pain. So you always want to take your time, make sure your camper is set up straight, set up level, and it's just going to make such a better night's sleep for you. Now, old Jazzy loves to camp, don't you, Jazz? Uh-oh, firework. And I think that's about all the modifications I have as far as the outside goes. Let's go on the inside of the Coleman Sun Valley and see some modifications that I've done in there. Jazz, you want to go inside? Come on. All right, let's go inside and take a look around. I've got a few bricks right here. I just redid that floor yesterday. Turned out pretty nice. Okay, let's go on in. Go ahead, Jess. Go on. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. Good. Here you go. Here's your bed. Right here. Come on. Come on. Good. There you go. Stay there now. Sit down. Good. Now, it's always a good idea when you're camping with your dogs is to have something like this. This is a moving blanket that I come up with, and it's perfect. So the dogs can jump up there and you don't have to worry about their claws kind of splitting up the material, maybe catching the material, things like that. Oh, looks like Jazz wants back out. She's going to be camera shy today. So this is the Sun Valley. This is a 1985. One of my most popular videos. Set it up, took it back down from start to finish. It's one. And in it the whole time, I'm calling it a 1987. I thought when I bought the Sun Valley, the gentleman told me that it was a 1987. And so for a couple years, I just considered it a 1987. I went to the BMV to go ahead and get my plates for it. She says, well, I don't see that in here. And I said, it's got to be in there. I get a plate every year for it. She says, well, I've got one for 1985. And sure enough, when I ran the VIN numbers, it's a 1985. 1985 is okay with me. It's a great camper. I absolutely love the Sun Valley. The Coleman's made a real good product back then. And you can see I've modified it on the inside now. I basically have painted the cabinets up, painted the roof up, did some things like that. But, there's a couple things that are still original. Like my curtains. I notice a lot of people when they remodel, they'll go ahead and the first thing they'll do is they'll take out the old curtains and put new curtains in. I get that. I mean, if you really want it to be stylish and look good, to me, this is retro. This is all original. The fabric's original, curtains are original, fabric's original. Now the paint is not, but I think the paint turned out pretty nice. Stove I've left in here, but I've never actually use the stove. I don't even have an LP tank hooked up anymore because I just can't imagine cooking inside here. That would cause not only a camper to really get an odor, but also it seems like it'd be maybe a little bit dangerous too. You can see I painted the cabinets up. It looks pretty nice. Painted the top all up right here. Maybe when it's all loaded up, you might have about 1,500 pounds in it, but it tracks really good. I put some extra wide tires on the back. Tires are all good on it. You got to make sure your wheel bearings are good. Those are all good on it. Spare tires, brand new. LED lights. I put LED lights, tail lights on it. I have videos on all these improvements that I've done. Check that playlist out. Jazz, it's cooler out here, isn't it? Yes, it is cooler. Yeah, I know why you're out here. That makes sense, bud. Well, I hope you had a good 4th of July weekend. I hope everything's going good for you. Hey, remember, camping season is here right now. It's a little bit hot out there. It won't be long for the nights will start cooling off. Fall, to me, is the very best time to camp, period. None better. I appreciate you coming by. Hey, check out those videos. You got any questions, got any comments, write them to me. Be sure and try to answer. Anybody that writes to me, I always try to get back to them if I can. I appreciate you coming by. The 4th of July weekend's not over yet. I expect there's going to be some pretty big explosions here in about probably another hour or so. Jazz on guard. The watchdog. All right, Jazz. To everybody, thanks for coming by. And you'll let them know how your next camping trip will go. Hey, actually have a video of us going backpacking. Remember that? That was fun. Oh yeah. Nope. Back. Nope. Say goodbye. Say goodbye. That's it. All right. Good dog. Good dog. Good doggy. Nope. Sit. There you go. Oh, that's right. Keep on guard. Good. I had no idea that I would be doing what I'm getting ready to do. Hurricane Barron is heading this way. Now, I'm in southern Indiana. It's hitting Texas as we speak. Torrential rains. It's got a bullseye right across this area. We're looking at maybe 2 inches of rain. I hope you enjoy the week coming up. Talking to you on the next video.